I'm Mike.
I'm Nathan.
And this is The Big N. Today on the show, we will be reviewing two Nintendo Switch hits, Snipperclips and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. We will go over the recent ARMS Direct and speculate on the Legend of Zelda mobile game. Before we get to our news, we at The Big N would like to thank everyone for their support over the last year. It's hard to believe 1 year ago we started The Big N, and hopefully there will be many episodes in our future. Now on to news. Nathan?
Alright, so just a couple days ago we had the ARMS Direct, and as well as the Splatoon 2 trailer. So with the ARMS Direct, they showed off a few new things, so new fighters, they explained more about the combat of ARMS, as well as revealed some different modes for the game.
Mm-hmm. And they also talked about the upcoming demonstration to play ARMS.
Yeah, so we got the Global Test Punch coming up next weekend.
Global Test Punch.
The Test Punch. So that'll be taking place next weekend and the following weekend after that. So that's May 26th to 28th and June 2nd to 4th, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And I have to say, every time I kind of get another glimpse of this game, in June, I get more interest in this title. I mean, I got to play it. I played it months ago at the demonstration in Toronto, and I was like, it's pretty fun. And I'm watching this direct, and I feel like they really put their heart and soul in this. Like this, it really does look like a very creative game. Like from looking at the way the fighters are designed, and the stages themselves, and like the music, like the atmosphere. I really feel like whoever the director is, I feel like the team behind it, you really feel their heart and soul in this game. And even though I'm still sort of hesitating on this game because it's really, I feel like, dependent on online multiplayer, which we're gonna have to pay for soon. B, it's Nintendo, so who knows what the quality of the servers are gonna be.
Yeah.
But I just feel like they put a lot of effort in this one. I don't think there's gonna be much of a campaign, unfortunately. Like I hope there's some kind of background on the fighters, but. Yeah. Because they look really creative. Like there's a robot with the dog partner now, and there's the fashion star uses her hair. Like, I mean,
the internet loves her, by the way.
Pardon?
The internet loves her, by the way.
Oh really? Oh, why's that?
Because it has the perfect body shape.
Oh, she's like a stick.
No. Yeah,
internet.
It's something that you can just look up online. Just search up ARMS Twintel, and you'll see why people are obsessing.
Okay. But I just think it just seems like a very creative game, and even though there's original single player, I like there's like hoops and skill shot, and I feel like different ways to work on your skills. Mm-hmm. One thing I want to ask you is, what do you think of? They have that weird system. I know some games have it, where the reward system, where you don't just get rewards for beating something. Now it's you'll play a mini game to get rewards, and there's another game I'm thinking of. Not Smash. Smash didn't have that.
Smash kind of had it.
Yeah, but where it's you have to instead of having a shop or in the old games where you you spend all your money to get that one item in the shop. Now you have to play a mini game and have a chance of getting something you want. I don't know. What do you think of that? Just as a thing some games do.
I think it's an interesting way to get your upgrades, but at the same time you kind of just want to just buy it because you've already earned it already. Mm-hmm. You just want it.
I just feel like that can be a really irritating thing, especially if you are the kind of person maybe will use 1 or 2 fighters and just playing it, hoping that the few pieces that your fighters use.
But I do like the part about the game being able to get all the separate parts in. So many different varieties with the way you can play the game.
Well, I mean, one thing. I mean, they only showed I think it's 10 characters, correct?
Yeah. And
that's small for a fighting game. Yeah. But I feel like they're really trying to emphasize. Okay, it's not the characters that matter. Let's be honest. People play games for characters. It's all about the customization, the arms. Say there's thousands of combinations with all these different arms.
Yeah, it's over 9,000.
Yeah. And just I think it's interesting that they're really emphasizing. Oh, you get two of the same. Well, one might be more powerful than the next, and different combinations, and with all the elements, and then the kind of heavy versus slow.
Yeah.
Really, they're trying to emphasize that there's a lot of different ways to play this game, and I think I'll be interested to see how fighting game communities react to this because of there is no standard. I mean, I guess
there's the ranked matches still.
Yeah, well, there's ranked matches, but I was thinking, I guess you could judge it and be okay, those 3 set, the 3 the sets that they showed, well, those are the only sets we'll allow in tournaments, but are they going to allow custom things? Because I feel like this game really is, the whole point is customizing your fighter, making and working on a set that you like.
Yeah, that's one thing they didn't really specify is if, because when you get you can get more powerful arms if you have if you get 2 of the same one, for example, or 3 of the same one. So I wonder if that's gonna be allowed for when you do ranked matches or if you do it in fighting game tournaments, because that's will just privilege people who picked up the game on day one.
Mm-hmm. And it'll really make impact on I think as you said how well it does, because Nintendo is pushing this. This is our fighting game. This is our answer for those who don't like Smash, here's our true fighting game.
Yeah, these are real fighting.
Just with springing arms.
Yeah.
I mean, also I just want to say, like Splatoon, it's just a very colorful game. Again, just the art style really jumps off the screen, like kind of like a lot of Nintendo games. And again, maybe it's not gonna have the best pixel, like the pixel count or whatever. Like it's not gonna be the best quality, but I mean, it really, like, I think the animation is really done well, just so how they emphasize like the springiness and like the characters really go well with that theme.
Yeah, do you definitely tell that it's a Nintendo game just if you look at it? So I think this is really just showing the strength of the Nintendo's new generation of developers coming through. Because I think ARMS is also worked on by a new young team of people at Nintendo.
Okay.
I believe so anyway. I'll need to take a closer look into it. But it's kind of like how they gave the reins to a young team for Splatoon.
Yeah.
So this way they get some new ideas coming through. Because when Splatoon came out, the developers were talking about how they're such big fans of Battlefield and Call of Duty. So they're inspired to create a shooter when they're given the reins to when they make another game.
Well, good thing they struck down making it just like the bloopers as the characters.
Yeah.
Although there is part of me kind of, can we like somehow make Donkey Kong in ARMS, like Punch Out, give him another cameo? It'd be kind of a fun.
That'd be nice, but
Captain Falcon. That's how we bring him back in, Nathan. Let's give him springing arms and put him.
I was just trying to think of Lil Mac just with his arms just coming out, swinging out.
He'd just be the worst character.
King Hippo or something like that.
Now, one thing I think we're thinking about is they announced long-term free DLC, and you're telling me, and we said like Splatoon also did this. They had kind of long-term support of the DLC to keep people playing, new maps and environments. And I'm thinking, is this a way to kind of balance the fact that we're gonna have to pay for the online service in the fall for this game? And like, hey, it's not that, I mean, again, not that expensive for other online, but it's just kind of make up. Well, you don't have to pay for DLC for this game. And they said new characters, I think new arms, new stages. So. Do you think this kind of hopefully will be an incentive for people to actually, okay, I'm willing to pay for online for this? Same with Splatoon, I guess.
For the online, it's nice to be able to get free DLC because they didn't really have to do that because Splatoon did it as well. So Splatoon they had the free DLC. I don't know if it's specifically incentive for people to be like, I'm gonna buy ARMS now just because now I get free DLC but I have to pay for online. But I don't know about that.
Well, I don't think it's been an incentive, but like I mean. Hey, we bought Zelda, a game that never had DLC, and now it has DLC to pay for, so...
Yeah. So it's just basically you're saying this is Nintendo's way just to breaking or gain money out of you, just that way?
Well, it's just, like... I mean, I think we talked about in previous episodes that ARMS it's a full-price game, it's a fighter.
Yeah.
And, we're asking, is there enough content in it to justify that price? And... I'm thinking about this show. And I'm like, it's pretty good. I mean, I haven't played like sort of again. It doesn't have like the big campaign story like a Street Fighter, for example. We have a lot lore and history and
it's
relationships.
Standard arcade modes from the sounds of it.
But I think more in Pokken tournaments.
Yeah, Pokken tournament was just arcade mode.
And you get little hats. You can customize your character. Come on. And. I mean, I think interesting, again, it's coming out in June, so, I mean, less than a month from now.
Yeah.
So, and just, again, right at the end of E3, I believe.
Yeah, it'll be the Friday of E3, basically.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see kind of like one last push to E3 to see what they do with ARMS. But I think it's shaping up pretty nicely. I mean, interesting to see how it sells and what the reaction is to a game that I think is really sort of challenging some of the things going on in fighting games.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Nintendo's, like, how people react to Nintendo's take on a true fighter instead of just Smash Brothers.
Oh, I should say also that with local multiplayer, they announced like there's going to be 2-on-2 matches, which sounds kind of crazy.
Yeah, they have that. They announced that last time, but they explained that now. Yeah, that now like you also play all those mini games as well. They'll also be two versus two.
Yeah, and then you can use multiple switches. I think that's another thing that's important.
Yeah, the online multiplayer will also have like those mini games, so you can play the mini games online as well.
So I think it'd be interesting again to see like. For local multiplayer, if people pick up this game, and again, like, I mean, Mario Kart is one, for example, but where people bringing multiple switches around and like playing a game like this, it'd be interesting to see, how people play this game.
Yeah, I want to be able to walk into a diner and see people playing the Switch, playing ARMS at their booths.
We're punching the air here, but yeah, that's exactly what we're going to see. And then at the end, they showed the Splatoon 2 trailer, which was, I think, story mode focused.
Yeah, it's basically just showing off like the campaign, basically what you might basically starting off like what the story is the background of the story.
But it looks like kind of the same sort of thing that we saw in the first Splatoon, right? In terms of single player content.
Yeah, it looks like there's a bit more of a I didn't play much of the story, so I really should have Jeff here telling me about the story of Splatoon. But looks like there's a little bit more focus on the characters, especially Marie, which is the one of the Squid Sisters. Because one interesting thing we mentioned earlier, but one of the interesting things about that is that the final Splatfest turns out has changed Splatoon's story. Because the last Splatfest was basically Callie versus Marie, and then Marie won. So now we don't see Callie anymore. So, that's probably the internet was probably happy about that, to find out how their decision has affected this Splatoon story.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. I guess we'll see. I mean, again, that another game that's sort of shaping up quite well, coming out in August, and again,
it's July.
Sorry,
July.
Yeah, and again, like, I'm interested to see that people will have to pay for the online multiplayer soon to see, like, because it's such a popular game, right? Splatoon, that will people like those people were used to not paying for it and enjoyed all that content. Will they be like, okay, now I'm willing to pay for this game?
I'm pretty sure people will probably do it because I for sure would be willing to, as long as it's better than what we had with Splatoon 1. Splatoon 1 was good too, but even then I got disconnected quite a bit. So if the online service is better when we start paying for it, then I'm all for it.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's in fall. I mean, hopefully I think I wouldn't be surprised at E3 if we get some more information on the online and maybe. That's
one thing that to clarify at E3 is specifying what the online service is going to be like.
And the other sort of news that kind of under the radar in a sense was they said this Legend of Zelda mobile game in development. It'll be coming out after Animal Crossing sometime in 2018. And I guess after the Breath of the Wild, I'm not kind of surprised. Like, yeah, Zelda's popular. I mean, Zelda's always popular, but, with Breath of the Wild, be like, okay, time to cash in on this and make a mobile game for Zelda.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about what they could do with this. And I know, when Super Mario Run, where you're just running over things, I'm like, what can they do in Zelda to really, like, cut it down for a mobile game? And the only thing I'm thinking is something like Four Swords comes to mind. Yeah. Something like simple.
It's gonna have to be like the isometric view. It's gonna have to be the top down.
I think it's gonna be top down.
The 2D one.
And I also Zelda seems like a harder game for microtransactions. Yeah. I can't.
It's probably gonna be a game you pay for, like Super Mario.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be like a $10 game.
But that didn't do well, unless unless they make it like a very accessible price, like say $5 or something.
Yeah, say $5 is a good price, but then depending on what the content of the game is.
Because Super Mario Run has not sold very well.
It sold below the expectations, but it's okay. Fire Emblem Heroes made above expectations.
Yeah, but I think I think they'd want to shoot high of Zelda, and
they do.
I just think Zelda is a lot harder to kind of. I mean, even Mario, because see Mario's complicated, but Mario essentially is platforming, right? Just jumping over things, and there's other platforms. But Zelda, there's a lot going on in Zelda, and it kind of reduced that to the size of a phone with dungeons, all that other stuff. That's one thing. Okay, something like Four Swords, like maybe like a dungeon-based game, like local multiplayer online. But then I'm like, again, with the confines of a phone, it'd be a pretty simple mobile game.
Yeah. I'm still not even sure what to even besides the dungeon thing. I have no idea what they would even attempt. Maybe the only thing I could think of was maybe putting the original Zelda game on a phone.
Oh,
they could try doing that. I think it'd be a good fit for a phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was thinking you have to do something really, really simple because you don't have a lot of space. You can't have like the buttons and things. Like you really have to.
I figured out what they could do.
What?
The original Zelda game's so complicated. They'd be like, if you wanted a hint, you got paid money. There's microtransactions.
Oh no. But that's what walkthroughs are for. That's what you use our My Nintendo coins for, right? Partially completed walkthroughs.
What they could just shuffle things around. So you need hints.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a possibility. Or they even did a sort of a remake of the original and remade it for the mobile.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah.
And seeing what they could do with that, but I just think not really a lot of options for Zelda.
No, not like once to get more information on it, it's all speculation at this point anyway.
But I just don't think it's as simple as thing like Animal Crossing where you can put fishing in or something, or just here's your little town with your house and you can buy stuff. Like I feel like Animal Crossing, which you have information on, is perfectly made for mobile. Like you just check in every day, 15 minutes. Got your house up, your flower patches, got to water them. pay money for special like houses and things. Like
Yeah,
it's perfect. I feel like
Animal Crossing is the best Nintendo game to put on a phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's easily accessible. You can do all sorts of different things, especially since Animal Crossing already runs based off real life time.
Yeah,
so you can put it on the phones.
So it works really well. Zelda. I guess we'll see. I mean, we're not gonna get any info for that. I wouldn't be surprised until like pretty much the beginning of next year.
Yeah, it's all speculation because the only thing we have to go on is that this game's coming out in 2018. That's all we got.
So today we're gonna look at two Nintendo Switch games.
Yep.
We're gonna look at Snipperclips, which came out at launch.
Yeah.
And we're gonna look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which came out April 28th. So first, let's talk about Snipperclips. I think I mentioned before at this demonstration in Toronto that I got to play Snipperclips, and again I went from a game that I was not interested in to a game that I did eventually buy because it was pretty fun as a local multiplayer game. And again, essentially, it's a game where it's a puzzle game where two people, you can play it with one person, but it is
way harder.
Pretty much impossible with one person, I'd say. I mean, not impossible, but the fun level goes down practically to zero.
Yeah.
Unless you're, I guess, a really hardcore puzzle gamer, puzzle game person. Then okay, by all means, try to play it with one person. But they were not designed for one person. And it's basically your two like shapes, and you cut each other out, and you kind of make objects, and you beat little puzzles, whether it's like getting objects in little pipes, or directing water, or like cutting out shapes and match things.
Yeah.
And you I guess we just said the main way to play is basically having each person having a Joy-Con, and looking at the screen together and talking to each other, being beside each other.
Yeah, you guys have to put your heads together and try to solve these puzzles.
Mm-hmm. And they're really short. They're like depending on I guess how difficult they are. I would say like ranging between 2 to 3 minutes to it could be 10 minutes depending on.
Well, I'd say like at least like a good like the early ones take maybe 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I was stuck on one particular puzzle for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
trying to figure it out.
I know that's not even. We're running on the last. We hadn't beaten every level yet, but and then it has again. It's not made by Nintendo. It was made by SFB Games, and I guess Nintendo asked them to make this as a launch title.
Yeah,
and it's interesting. I think to talk about is I think it's the first game on the Switch that again makes use of saying, well, you can play local multiplayer with the two Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of games that wouldn't necessarily work with the Joy-Cons, and we'll talk about Mario Kart in a sec, but for this game, having that Joy-Con, which is kind of small in your hand, and for a game like a puzzle game that's you're playing at your own pace, it works. Mm-hmm. Even though the controls they work, I mean it's a little cramped, but it's not annoying. It's not like
it's a puzzle game. You can take your time. It's not in a high octane situation or anything.
Mm-hmm. So I think it really makes good use of the Joy-Cons and that local multiplayer aspect, like taking it on the go and like picking up someone. I think it's a good game to bring to someone's house, and I think really kind of shows off what Nintendo's trying to do with the Switch.
Yeah, I remember I went over to my uncle's house just to hang out one day, and my young cousin just asked if I had a Switch, and I was like, sure. I took out my Joy-Cons and said, here, let's play Snipperclips. It was just really simple. Just set the Switch right on the table, and we just play together. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think it's I should say it uses less battery than Zelda. People are saying like this game. So Zelda uses kind of like I'd say 3-ish hours.
Yeah.
This game apparently, I guess, because it's a much less powerful game. It goes up to 5 hours, which is I've never played 5 hours straight, but that's apparently what the reports are. So that's pretty good, I'd say. I mean, I can't see them playing Snipperclips for 5 hours straight. If they do, I guess they're trying to beat it all in one day.
Yeah, beat it all in one day.
But I think that's a good sign, right? That maybe that something like Zelda, if that's kind of like the low bar, okay, there are going to be some kind of higher bar games that are not necessarily going to use the same battery the battery that the Zelda something like Zelda uses.
Yeah, I can just imagine something like Fire Emblem Warriors would probably drain the Switch in like 2.5 hours.
Oh, that could be brutal.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised. And so again, mostly like a puzzle-based game, and I think another thing I think this speaks to, and this is kind of what we talked about in our Breath of the Wild review about puzzles, that this is not a game where multiple people can play the game and you can kind of have multiple ways of solving these puzzles.
Yeah.
So when we're at the demonstration, I watched people and they're like kind of doing the same puzzles we were, but they were doing it differently, and I think that's another really pushing the freedom here.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that's kind of with the Switch, but I feel like that's something they're trying to promote. Have different ways of playing, and I feel like maybe it's come out here with different kind of puzzle games, whether it's the puzzles in Zelda or this.
Yeah, it's nice to have like the freedom to be able to solve things your way, because not everyone thinks alike. So some people may look at a puzzle and think, oh, it should be solved this way. Then the person would be like, no, it's this way. Like me, when I played with my cousins, the levels I've played before, he found different ways to beat the puzzle that I didn't think of.
And it's certainly a game, I think, where you can kind of appreciate like local multiplayer in that sense. Like, I don't think this is a game you can play online and like have the same.
No, you can't. You can't get kind of communication.
Just having that person beside you on the couch and just be like, turn around and flip, and why are you cutting me this way? And just, I mean, just briefly looking at like presentation of the game, and you're like these kind of shapes, and you cut each other out, and the characters have these very cute, almost disturbing faces. Like they seem to really enjoy cutting each other. You know, like
they like giggle when big part of them out.
Yeah, like every person I show this game to, they just kind of get amused by that. So I think it's like designed quite nicely. The presentation is nice, and it fits quite well on the Switch.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much more they could do with this. I can't really see like a Snipperclips 2.
You can probably see Snipperclips too. It's kind of like why we have multiple versions of Box Boy. So you could probably create just more puzzles.
That's true.
Do the same kind of idea. Maybe have three shapes instead of two.
Oh no! Well, I mean, I know there's like apparently 4-player, which I've not tried, and I think that sounds like a nightmare.
4-player, as far as I know, it sounds like there's a battle mode where basically just try to cut each other out as many times as possible. Because when you actually cut out like I think like good like 90% of a piece, they fall apart.
Yeah. I guess the other thing is it's at a pretty accessible price, and I think as games are expensive, and I think we as gamers spend a lot of money, especially now with season passes and DLC and things, and expensive controllers and peripherals. So it's nice to see a game that's I think more reasonably priced, and I think you get pretty good value out of it.
Yeah, you do. It's quite nice. It's a nice puzzle game for you to have, especially if you have friends to play with. If you don't have friends to play with, it's no fun. Yeah,
it is not good single player. I played a few levels and tried. I'm like, this is not fun at all. This is just frustrating.
Yeah, like you have your brother to play with. I don't have anybody, so we just got to try and solve all those puzzles by myself. And
he hasn't even tried to play with me. He's like, I'm like, come on, it's fun. You're just shapes. you got. That's why you got to bring it to a party and just sit in front of people like play this game, and it doesn't work. You're like, what is this? Like here. Try this very simple control. Yeah, it works. In that sense, I think it's a very kind of once you get the hang of it, it's a good pick up and go game, which I think something the Switch is pushing for with it's supposed to be something you bring on the go with you and having these controllers that you take. So yeah, as a game overall, I enjoy it. It's fun. Since I don't have any other multiplayer games right now, it's keep me going, and for the price, I think it's a good representation of what the Switch could potentially do with local multiplayer.
Yeah, this is actually the perfect example of how well it could do. And Switch because sold pretty well. I think I can't remember what the statistics on there now. I don't think they made it on the list, but I think they made like sold over 350,000, which is actually quite nice for a download game.
Yeah, that is good. To be fair, there's not much on the eShop, so it's like it came at the right time.
Yeah, I think Snipperclips was like number one for like a good like 3 weeks. I think number one for top downloads.
So yeah, I mean it's a good thing, and hopefully we'll see more like that. And I mean, just as an aside, when I think of these eShop games, I mean, when I think of like say my 3DS for example, I have quite a few eShop only games, and I think they're a lot of games I bought when they're like I say between the $5 and $10 mark, which is a good entry mark price. Yeah. And I will say a lot of these games on the Switch and eShop, they're really expensive. They're like, well, in my opinion, for like eShop only games that are smaller, shorter, they're in like the 20s, some of them in like the $40 range. And I think that's a little pricey. I mean, even though it's a console, it's probably gonna have more content than say a 3DS game. I think it'd be nice to see, hopefully in the future, some cheaper eShop only games. Because I think a lot of games did well on the 3DS eShop because they were at a very accessible price. Yeah. And they had some good sales. Sometimes actually on the 3DS eShop, where a lot of games went on sale. So
there's good like some of the games are like 40, 50, 60% off on the eShop. So hopefully that comes along on the Switch at some point. Maybe during E3 they'll have like an E3 sale, and hopefully like stuff like Snipperclips and like Wonder Boy will come down in price.
Yeah, well, we already bought Snipperclips, so I guess we're not. We never save. Not on a gaming podcast. First one's at the door. Yeah, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, this is a size thing I was thinking about, and I think games should continue to be offered at all different price points because not everyone is going to be able to afford an $80 game every time. Yeah. But speaking of $80 games, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which again came out not that long ago. And if you remember on our Wii U Retrospective episode, we both, Nathan and I, talked quite a lot about Mario Kart 8. We liked it a lot. I think it was, someone could look back and tell us what our ranking was. I think it was like number 2 or might have been number 2 on both of our lists.
I think that is 2 on my list. I think it was, I can't remember what it was in your list. I think Jonas was, I think it was top 5. Yeah. It was top 5 for sure.
I think it was like number 2 or 3 on my list. So, not much to add. I mean, in terms of what's different? I mean, for a game, again, it's a port. I believe it's 4 years old, Mario Kart 8.
Mario Kart 8
yeah. So we have a few new characters. We have the Inklings. We have King Boo. Mm-hmm. We have Bowser Jr. And mostly Dry Bowser, thank you. And then mostly we have this new battle mode, or I should say, an actual battle mode, because that was the only thing kind of negative about Mario Kart 8 was there was really
no battle mode.
A terrible battle mode.
Terrible battle mode.
And now we have a battle mode that has lots of options, from the coin runners to sort of balloon mode to...
My favorite is Bomb on Blast.
Bomb on Blast.
There's also the Cops vs. Robbers mode. The Renegades Roundup. That's a fun one.
So lots of running battle mode. Nice stages. Although I will say, when Nathan gave me a chance to play it, I was very, very disappointed that there's no last cart standing. Like in the original, where you can have balloons and then you don't have no time, or just the last person has one balloon left wins. And I'm like, how is this not in this still? Like, you have all these modes and all these different options. Like, that was my favorite mode. It was Mario Kart 64 that I was playing on Block Fort, and and just having shells and bananas everywhere.
Shells all down.
Like that was so much fun. How is that not in here still? I don't understand. Like, I have to say, I wasn't gonna buy this anyway, because I think for a port it's ridiculous as a price.
Yeah.
To ask me to buy a second time, but the fact they didn't have that, I'm like, okay, now I'm really not buying it. And we also said the DLC was included. So the DLC on Mario Kart 8, which was very good DLC, I think.
It was under $20.
It was like $12.
Yeah.
For
8 map packs, 8 new courses.
Yeah. Couple characters cards.
Couple characters.
So 16 new races and 4 new cups. Like, that's a lot of content. So you got that all included. And I guess people are okay with it, or all the people skipped the Wii U and picked up the Switch and heard about maybe how good Mario Kart 8 was. They've come back and it's sold really well. Sold 500,000 copies in April.
Yeah.
But then again, I think it's very well for a game that's a port and doesn't really have that much new content compared to. I mean, it has the battle mode, but I don't think I'm going to pay an extra $80 for the battle mode.
Even though a little bit this thing was disappointing me about the new battle mode is that the maps are a little bit too big. So like something like yes, the maps are just a little too big because it's clearly meant to be played with 12 players. So you're supposed to have computers or online with other people. Mm-hmm. But if you just want to just do you and your friends, it's gonna be way too big for you.
Yeah, I remember we played the Splatoon map, and I don't think we couldn't find each other. Now there's only 4 of us.
Yeah.
But we couldn't find each other. Like, it was kind of annoying. And now there was a map though, but it was still weird. Like, you still couldn't find people. So I mean, maybe we gotta play it more. But that's a good point.
It's just, you couldn't find anybody. Mm-hmm. I played it multiple times. I just I don't know anybody. Like, I don't know where you guys are. I can screen watch all I want, but I can't see you.
So, I mean, I think I should say, again, talking about Mario Kart, it's a beautiful looking game. I still think it's a gorgeous game. It has a great soundtrack.
Yep.
I think it's a very balanced Mario Kart. I think, again, it fixed up a lot of things with Mario Kart Wii, and I think 3DS and DS had different issues. I feel like this one really cleaned up a lot of things. So, in that sense, it's a good kart racer.
Yeah, one thing I was going to add on in terms of balance, which is funny that they mentioned that, is Mario Kart 8, I remember when they first came out, and they gave you remember in previous Mario Kart games, you can hold an item behind you, it wouldn't count as an item.
Yes.
But in Mario Kart 8, they took that away, so if you held a green shell behind you, you still couldn't pick up an item box.
Yeah.
But in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you can pick up an item box, because you can have 2 items.
But yeah, you have double items back.
Yeah, so now you can have a double wall.
Yeah.
I thought the whole reason they took that out was because it was too cheap, and now they brought it back in Mario Kart.
But now you have double items, so now you can just have...
Now you can do it again.
Yeah, come on, triple red shells, right? Double. Yeah, I mean, they brought back the double items, which I think a lot of people fondly remember from Double Dash, and it was in Mario Kart Wii, but I don't think anyone remembers. Yeah, it was in Mario Kart Wii, right? I believe so. We could be wrong, but I just don't Mario Kart Double Dash. That was the big double items, and then
that was fun. That was a fun game.
So I mean, I think so again, it's a very beautiful looking game, and I mean, it's kind of weird to say it'll be one of the best looking Switch games, and it could be. I'm interested to see if it'll be the only Mario Kart on Switch.
I doubt it. I will
Maybe
probably,
near the end of the
maybe
cycle?
like maybe it's near the end of the cycle. Maybe like 2 or 3 years from now, we'll probably get Mario Kart 9.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, still a beautiful looking game. One of my favorite Mario Karts. Beautiful levels. Just really fun. And one thing I was thinking about is, again, it's another game where, you know, it's sold well, and I think a lot of people picked it up, and I think it kind of bodes well for what Nintendo's doing to the Switch and getting these kind of larger titles out fast out of the gate.
Yeah, because they're doing a pretty good job of spacing things out right now. So it's Zelda in March, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in April, ARMS in June, Splatoon 2 in July, and then we'll see what like Fire Emblem Warriors, Super Mario Odyssey, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 look like for the rest of the year.
Now, one thing I should mention is for those who are picky with controllers, and I gotta say, as someone who used... So when I played Mario Kart 8, I used the classic controller.
Okay.
Or I used sometimes the gamepad. But I remember I mostly used the classic controller.
No, I used the Pro Controller mostly for Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8. So
I did not want to pay the... I never had a reason to buy the Pro Controller with the Wii U.
It was a nice controller. It was a decent controller.
But it's funny with the Switch. I mean, we're kind of hanging controllers out, and the Pro Controller felt nice. It was, of course, natural.
Yeah.
But man, using the Joy-Cons for Mario Kart, it was not... I don't think it did not feel comfortable.
It wasn't nearly as good.
It wasn't terrible, but it just... I mean, we were playing bad, but we were playing like the high-octane speeds of single player, especially the fast speeds. But just like holding that and like having that joystick and just trying to do all the motions of Mario Kart, it felt weird. It did not feel 100% comfortable. And I feel this is where, you know, again, not to push the Pro Controller, but this is where another one of those games where like, okay, this is not going to work with these little controllers.
Yeah, because one of the things that you have to do in Mario Kart is drift a lot. Mm-hmm. So you have to press the bumper button. But the bumper button on the Joy-Con is so small that I feel like I'm going to miss the button. So I have to be really, really careful where I put my hand. I might miss a drift.
Yeah, I don't think it's well suited. And again, those weird... You know, you don't have the Pro Controller has the nice, like, the nub, the control stick feels kind of very natural, and then and on those Joy-Cons, they kind of feel kind of fragile just a bit, and you're like, am I pushing it too hard? And like, your Mario Kart, you're really, you know, I think kind of working your controller over the game when you're a very intense game like Mario Kart. So I think this is something where I feel like we're gonna have to talk about, we're gonna come back to, honestly, I feel like with most Switch games, is which controllers work with. Is it the Joy-Cons? Is it
the grip?
The grip? Is it going to be the Pro Controller? Or I feel like it's always been the Pro Controller, but I feel like we're going to have to come back to this every time just because I just think it's not going to work with certain genres. Yeah. And Mario Kart, to me at least, it does not feel comfortable.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Pro Controller will always be your controller of choice because that controller is just a really, really good controller.
Yeah, I mean, for the price, it was expensive, but yeah.
It's worth it. You just want to keep pushing that.
So yeah, I mean, just looking back at this game, again, it's one of my favorite Mario Karts. I don't know, it's my favorite. I mean, Double Dash has a special place in my heart, and DS, I think, also for the time it came out of my life. But Mario Kart 8, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like my second favorite Mario Kart, and I think it's a great game. I think it's a great game for people to pick up on their Switch, especially if they skipped it on the Wii U. The fact that it includes all the DLC, has a proper battle mode, has new content, I think it's a good buy. And again, I think our comments before, and okay, we're not talking about the game much, but it still stands. I think we know it's high marks on everything. It's a great game. It's one of the best Mario Karts, and I think it's gonna hold well on the Switch.
Yeah, mine's thoughts are the same because this is one of my top Mario Kart games. I think my favorite would probably be 64 or
64
or Wii. A lot of people didn't like Wii. I personally liked Wii a lot.
I did not like Wii.
No, the Wii one was.
We had some balance issues. Just like they kind of went nuts. I think with Mario Kart Wii, no one remembers Mario Kart Wii.
Because I was just so good at Mario Kart Wii. I mean, that's just why.
You were good at Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah, this was one of my probably maybe second or third, probably second favorite Mario Kart game. Yeah, so yeah, pretty much everything about the game is pretty much spot on. There's not a whole lot that I can really complain about. The only thing I complain about is the battle mode. Again.
Yeah, no last card standing. Come on.
Yeah, that's a big loss. Come on.
How can they miss that? Oh no, it'll be Mario Kart 9, right? Because you know they
complained about this so much that we had to put it back in.
Well, yeah, I mean, just on topic of Mario Kart, for one last comment, I was thinking is because I feel like this game again, they perfected a lot of things, they fixed a lot of things, and they brought in a lot. Like, what can they do in Mario Kart 9? The only thing I remember them talking about was we thought about doing a drill, but we thought the submarine was better, so we did that. Like to really where else can they go with this franchise? I mean, because I feel like Mario Kart 8 and somebody's got away with such great scores because okay, this is kind of the ultimate almost perfection, right, in Mario Kart, I think. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what can they do with another one to really like bring this to a new level? Unless they already bought 200cc, so we already got the F-Zero-ish quality of Mario Kart.
Poor F-Zero, we'll never see it again.
Yeah, and still no Captain Falcon. How can I not...
The blue Falcon's in it, isn't
yeah.
it? There's no Captain Falcon.
Not in. It wasn't in the DLC for Mario Kart 8. I'm like, oh, maybe Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. No Captain Falcon. This is criminal, Nintendo. How can Link and like the Inklings be racers and not Captain Falcon? He's a racer.
It needs to be Nintendo Kart at this point, especially with Link and the Inklings in it right now.
Yeah, like I mean, it's maybe just don't care. Well, I know we're not gonna get F-Zero, but and there's 2 F-Zero stages. I mean. I don't know. I think that's a missed opportunity. I'm sure some people who just don't want him in there because they feel like that's their last thing. Oh, if he's not in here, we might get F-Zero. But you know, I don't think we'll see F-Zero at E3, Nathan.
Probably not. I'm not expecting it. I wouldn't expect it.
I don't think it's on our list of potential E3 predictions. F-Zero would definitely be in my like 1% chance category.
Well, my percent would be lower. It'd probably be 0.1%.
So E3 again. It's coming soon. Less than a month. Our favorite time of the year here at Big N. It's like our Christmas.
It's like everybody's Christmas.
It's
a gamer's Christmas.
It's gamer's Christmas, and who's gonna be happy? Who's gonna be disappointed this year? Which fan base is gonna walk out happy? So what do we know for sure? Well, we know that Odyssey is gonna be heavily featured. I mean, I think it's the one game that definitely will not be delayed. It's gonna be a Christmas title, so I think it's gonna be the main Switch game.
Yeah.
And then we know that Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Fire Emblem Warriors, both are supposed to come out in 2017. Mm-hmm. And we know that the new Fire Emblem game is supposed to come out in 2018. We know that there's the heavily rumored Mario Rabbids, the Ubisoft game.
Yeah.
Yep. And we also have not necessarily rumors, but I feel like the Pokemon Stars seems like the rumor that there's been no like rumors about it per se, but I just feel like it's something that everyone expects at this point. Yeah,
I remember like right before the Switch came out, there was a heavily rumored that the Pokemon Stars was a Switch game. But Nintendo just never come out and confirmed it.
Yeah, and let's be honest, it's been 4 months, and it's a Pokemon company. There should be no game already announced by now.
It's true. They already missed the window in May.
Yeah,
right?
So
unless they do it like next week,
E3 seems the time for them to know. Okay, next game.
Yeah.
So I think Pokemon Stars seems like a pretty good chance.
Yeah, I personally would love it because I think if we watch our Pokemon review, one of the things I complained about was the graphics of the game. I would love it to be improved for Pokemon Stars.
Yeah, I think I haven't picked up a third title. Actually, no, correct myself. I have not picked up a third Pokemon game, like the third in the set.
Yeah.
Ever. I mean, I think outside buying, I guess the sequel to Black and White, but I won't really count that. Yeah. And this is one where I would buy it because I again a Pokemon game on a console for the first time. Again, he said the graphical powers, but also just taking on the go and just seeing. I think there was a lot of story opportunities, different things. I love to see them mix up. So this is certainly one I'm hoping for, and I think as you said, timing seems well. Yeah, especially the Pokemon company. Yeah,
there's so much they could improve on with Pokemon Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon was great as well, but there's a lot of like things they could do with characters in Sun and Moon. Mm-hmm. They spent a lot of time making like those characters in Sun and Moon feel like likable for us, but they didn't really go into their backstories or anything. So this is a good opportunity.
Yeah, and I mean let's get into like the Rabbids game just because again something that it seems very obvious that's going to get announced, and there's been kind of leaks coming from every direction in some ways that. This is coming. It's kind of confirmed, not really, and that as again, it's kind of Ubisoft's. I guess their next next opportunity. But after what happened with the Wii U, it's like okay, we're gonna try again here, being at the front of our game. And
I was gonna mention that Ubisoft just made a comment. I think last week they're saying that they want to be the biggest third-party supporter of the Switch.
Okay, let's do a new Assassin's Creed on the Switch, right?
Yeah, when this Assassin's Creed gets announced at this year's E3, the Switch it better be on Switch.
It's not gonna be.
It better be.
Always
Ubisoft's lying.
I mean, if the Switch is powerful enough, which I am kind of doubting it.
But still, they managed to put Assassin's Creed 4 and 3 on the Wii U. So.
Well, if it comes out at the same time, not 2 years later, maybe. But this Rabbids game. I mean, I'm kind of in. I'm interested in it. I'm really hoping that this will be the answer to all my complaints over the last couple of years with the Mario, Luigi, and where Paper Mario went. I'm hoping this will be the return to like weird Mario, like the weird humor and things in these RPGs. Because I mean, I heard some rumors where like, oh, the characters aren't gonna be the regular four. It's gonna be like Waluigi and
that'd be great for a Waluigi game. They would never go crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, I really hope they kind of I really don't want it to be Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Yoshi. I mean, I'd really be interested. I mean, or if they are, at least make it like have Waluigi and have like Daisy, have like all like, the weirdo Birdo, have all these weird characters in the Mario universe in there. Because if it's Rabbids game, and those Rabbids games are, I guess, kind of known for their wackiness, weirdness, and like this is the time to bring out that weirdness in the Mario universe and like take advantage of it. I think that would make a fun RPG. Because I don't want to see another Save Princess Peach to something from the Bunny Bowser, which is like, you know what I mean? Like I'm done with this. Like we've had too many of these RPGs. As an aside, there's a rumor the Super Mario Superstar DX coming out, like a remake of the first Mario RPG. Like, well, if they didn't run out of ideas before, if they're remaking the first one, okay, they don't have any ideas left for this series. And I really want to see something different. I really want to see them like explore the weird side. I don't want to see just Bowser kidnap Peach with the rabbit ears. Like, come on, we already we know we saw him with cat ears. Do we need to see him in rabbit ears?
The rabbits better be the bad guys too.
Oh, I expect them to be. I expect them to be the bad guys. I just hope they do some weird stuff. Like, let's see Waluigi and a rabbit together in like one of the like worlds yet to go, or Wario, or like let's see Daisy, like let's see Birdo, let's see, like let's. And you know, if they really want to go crazy, take some of the superstar characters, get Fawful, like God,
there's Monty Mole.
Yeah, like there's all kinds of things they could do, and I'm really hoping they kind of go full ahead with this. I want to see just a, standard bread and butter Mario RPG, because I feel like people are kind of exhausted with those.
It also depends on who's making it too. I'm pretty sure it'd be Nintendo, but it could also be Ubisoft. So it depends on who's making it.
Mm-hmm. And I think. It's funny because there's another thing. There's a weird rumor, and I think this is another one where I would say unlikely, but apparently there is people saying that Nintendo put out a patent or something, or not a patent, but like a lock on like a Bowser titled game or something.
Oh, there's Inside Story too.
Yeah, there was some weird rumor about that, and that's another thing I kind of chalked to. I can't see it happening, but I think that's something a lot of people are waiting for. Like, people said, give us a Bowser led game, and I think. Where people play Bowser's Inside Story, like, God, the best part of that game was playing as Bowser. It was really fun. It was like, it's like that the humor with him, and like not just being I'm just a villain. Yeah. I think that's kind of Bowser's at his best. As much as I enjoy that traditional Bowser, like Mario, in like the straight up the mainstream Mario games. Yeah. So yeah, I'd kind of like to see that. I think that'd be a really fun, interesting game. I putting that on kind of like the low end of the rumors, but you never know. And so also I think now the other thing I think we should say is I feel like it's a kind of a possibility is Retro Studios finally revealing what they're working on for the last 5 years.
Yeah, that needs to happen.
Because man, it's been 5 years, right?
It's been at least 4 years. 4 years at least.
That's a long time for them not to reveal anything. And I think it's time. Reggie said this was supposed to be E3. They're going to show off all the games, and we have lots of hidden things. Like, okay, this should be at the front of the line. What's Retro Studios working on? Don't have to go share. Just say Metroid Prime 4, E3 over. There you go.
It's not gonna be Metroid Prime. I think Retro already denied that they're making Metroid, but of course that could just be Nintendo's not wanting to have any rumors.
Do you think it's a new IP they can?
I don't think so. I think it's probably one of their existing franchises.
Donkey Kong again? I'd be very happy about that.
I think Retro said they want to make something that's not Metroid and Donkey Kong.
So they'll get another Nintendo franchise?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what it would be, though.
F-Zero.
F-Zero. That would be great.
Except it's not racing now. Now it's just as a bounty hunter hunting people down.
That'd be great.
Because, he has a gun, he's never used it, so...
That'd still be fun.
That'd be a great game. I would totally buy that. I think, again, we'll see, but I'm feeling pretty optimistic that Retro will finally reveal something. Again, I know this is the E3...
Hopefully they will, because I'm tired of waiting, because they've been teasing that for years of what Retro Studios has been working on.
And you were saying we were talking previously. You're saying pretty likely Xenoblade will get delayed.
I'm saying the Xenoblade is like they say it's gonna come out this year. I highly doubt that. Maybe in Japan it'll come out this year. I can see it coming out for Japan this year, but X only came out in Japan. I think was it 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago it came out in Japan, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not a lot of time for them to make it a Xenoblade. So for them to make a huge Xenoblade game in 2 years is highly unlikely. So I think it'll probably be 2018.
Okay. And let's also talk about the 3DS a bit, because again, Nintendo has said the 3DS is not going anywhere. It's not on life support. We have lots of games coming. So far, we know, it's probably that OK Pikmin. Sorry.
Hey Pikmin.
Hey Pikmin. Why could they just call it like Pikmin? I guess they won't call it Pikmin 3DS, but
yeah, they don't call it that.
So we got Hey Pikmin, and I think Miitopia are kind of for sure. Even though Miitopia's been out in Japan for a long time, so I feel like that's a strange...
Miitopia's been out for like almost a year.
Yeah, so I feel like that's a strange title to show at E3. Maybe just for North America we'll get it.
Yeah.
But, so those are probably there for sure as, I guess, kind of the start of this next line of 3DS games, especially coming out the new 3DS. But
I was going to mention, like, probably Ever Oasis might show up once, just because it's about to release. It'll be at the end of June.
Okay, yeah. So that's 3. But if you had to take a guess, what do you think is, again, they said there are any more games coming, and they said from franchises, and we know for sure the Fire Emblem people said no more Fire Emblem on 3DS, and I agree because it's been 3 now.
Yeah.
And I think I can't see the Zelda team having one. I'd be surprised. I mean, the Zelda team, they have a big team, so maybe they've been working on in the backgrounds, but I feel like
if it is not a Zelda game, it's probably one like Link Between Worlds or like Four Swords Adventure. Okay. Like Four Swords Adventures, something like that.
But in Mario, I can't see. So if you had to pick, I
can see a Mario actually.
And I guess no, they did say there's a Kirby game coming out in December.
Yeah,
the fighting game.
Right, the 3D. There's still 3DS Kirby games that still got to come out this year.
So, but if you had to pick, say, 1 or 2 franchises, what can you see? Okay, 3DS game coming.
Golden Sun.
Golden Sun.
No, there's like a 0% chance that game's showing up again.
Hey, this has been how long has the 3DS been out now? 5 years? 6 years?
6 years?
Yeah. So this is. So in 3DS getting a bit long in the tooth here, and I think a lot of franchises have had their 2 or 3 games. I feel like this is their time now for the C rank franchises to get their game, don't you think? I mean,
maybe, but I just feel like after Dark Dawn, the series is just dead.
Nintendo seems to bring things back. I mean, Star Fox got back how many times?
Yeah, but that's only because people demand it so much. I don't think a lot of people have a lot of demand for Golden Sun, so I don't see it coming back at all.
But like, I can't see Animal Crossing. I'd be very surprised. I feel like that's a hidden Switch title that'll come.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And the mobile game, no Fire Emblem, no Metroid. I mean,
no, they made Federation Force last year too. So,
no Mario Party. No Mario Kart. So but there has to be something here. I mean, we got Pikmin, which again seems like kind of. It's not one of Nintendo's main franchise. Let's be honest. Like Pikmin, their merchandise sells better than their games.
Miyamoto wants it to be, but they'll never be.
So I'm just trying to think. Thinking about what game. Won't be Smash. Obviously, they already have a sports game that has all the sports games in it. So that's gonna exhaust. That's why I'm thinking. Maybe this is like this is time for something like an F-Zero or maybe a Golden Sun. Or I'd be super happy. I know you like Advance Wars. So I think that's another. I was thinking...
I want to see Advance Wars. I want to see Intelligent Systems make another Advance Wars.
Well, I was thinking the one thing that really comes to mind is a sequel to Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus. Oh, man. That's the only person who was willing to work on that was Sakurai, but even he's sick of it after the one time.
But that game was so good, and we both talked about how much we liked that game. And
I know. I love that game.
I'd kill for the out to the second one. Switch or 3DS. That was such a fun game. Refreshing.
I would love to see it on Switch just because I want to see the graphics improve on it. It's a great game artistically, but like technically not so good. But if they can improve that'd be great.
Oh, it'd be a great game on the Switch. I just think I just think another one would be nice. But I'm just thinking of things that appear on the 3DS. That seems something that and it did sell well, right?
Sold decently well.
Well, sold over 1 million.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't look at sales numbers for that.
No, it actually sold well. Like I think people picked it up and. I think there's some possibilities. Wario hasn't had a game for a while, and I think
WarioWare game.
Yeah,
that's a possibility actually.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, if they want 3DS to keep going, I think
it's a good time to revive Wario Land actually.
Yeah, Wario Land 5, I guess it'd be.
I can't remember. It's been a long time since the Wario Land game. I think the last one was on Wii.
Yeah, shake it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go back to the numbers, Nintendo. Just slap a 5 on there. So, is there any other sort of unexpected things you're thinking? Oh, the other thing I'm thinking, we're gonna get a big Switch update because I think Nintendo seems to frame these things usually after directs or like big conferences, like, oh yeah, massive update coming to Switch, because I think it's been 2 months now and it's still pretty bare bones. And
they better announce themes.
Yeah, themes
Or some music on the menu, because it's really boring.
Actually, you know, I think for sure we're gonna get an update, because if ARMS is coming out literally after that, there's gonna be online available for ARMS immediately.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have an online. We're gonna have online up by the end of E3. I think maybe the eShop will get some. I think we're gonna also get an eShop revamp, or at least I wouldn't be surprised if they get a bunch of smaller titles announced with eShop. Also, Virtual Console. They
haven't said Virtual Console.
I think again I wouldn't be surprised if at the Z3 they said, okay, Virtual Console's coming. Let's confirm some GameCube games maybe coming to Virtual Console.
That would be some big news if the GameCube Virtual Console gets announced.
Oh yeah, and another game I think is sort of my last kind of speculation is there's another. Nintendo has kind of like trademarked Eternal Darkness for like forever now, and
I almost feel like it's just to protect their name at this point.
Yeah, maybe, but you know, again I put that on like the very low end of rumors of, you know, I'd be shocked if that happened, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't mind seeing what a game like that was kind of creative, interesting. What they could do at GameCube would go now 3 generations ahead, or what they could do with that. I mean, that'd be interesting. Yeah,
but I think even the team that made Eternal Darkness, I think they went under a little while ago. So.
Well, they did, but the guy still says, I'd like to make it. So, you know, I can't remember his name, Dennis Olak or something like that. Yeah, so you never know. But yeah, I put it at the kind of the low end. Now, I think one other thing I'd say, I think it'd be nice to see some release dates for some of those games that are being ported after, like Yooka-Laylee or Rime.
Yeah, Rime.
It'd be nice to see some kind of solid release dates at E3. You know, not just this summer or eventually with Yooka-Laylee.
Eventually.
You know, I think, you know, it'd be a good time to bring that out.
How about, I was more curious about release dates for Fire Emblem Warriors and Mario Odyssey. So the timing of those.
I think Mario for sure will be Christmas, and I
see Fire Emblem Warriors being September.
Yeah, fall for sure.
Yeah, and then Mario being November. I can see that.
So any final thoughts for you on E3 speculation, or do you think they're able to live up to? I don't want to say it's hyped, but I feel like they kind of set the bar high. They said lots of games coming.
Because Nintendo, they have everyone's attention now for the first time in quite a while. So what they present this year is hugely important to people keeping faith in Nintendo right now.
And the Switch is sold well, so they got to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, so they got to prove to the people who bought the Switch why they should keep the Switch right now, and not, like, you know.
I don't know. I feel
to be like the Wii U and just get rid of it right away.
I'd challenge you, because I feel like the people who bought the Switch are mostly satisfied, and again, maybe because we got one really good game, and that's better than just a couple okay games with the Wii U. But I just feel like I do think there's gonna be a holiday bundle with Mario.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Really?
No, that's not gonna happen, because that was Nintendo will lose money on Mario. So I could easily see them making a bundle, but not. There has to be a 1-2 Switch bundle, because that's the game that should have come with the Switch to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that, but I can't see them making Mario. They'll lose so much money if they do.
Okay, I guess we'll see on June 12th. We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Big N. Main theme provided by Victor Zoni. If you have any questions or comments, please email us at thebignpodcast@gmail.com. If you like what you heard today, subscribe to our channel. Follow Nathan at rpgfan.com for game reviews. I'm Mike.
I'm Nathan.
And this is The Big N.